Penis.
Hello, fuck, god ass.
High five, Effie.
Hold on. Everybody gets
Got
2
him.
XP.
Yeah.
Go ahead and add 2 experience points to your character sheets.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. It is a pleasure to have you all here. Tonight, we are exploring what it means to be green together. And as part of that, we have invited someone who's red. Uh, so that, contrast. But tonight we are doing the first of what is hopefully many guest goblins. So the way that we're going to be approaching this is we have our 3 cores who are always going to be in every session, but we have 2 potential guest slots available every time that we do these, and we will be inviting people to play as said goblins to kind of work in tandem with the central narrative of the main campaign. So today, debuting as her role as the very first guest we'll be having on this as a player goblin. Technically, MWB was the first guest assisting voice, but Honey is the first actual guest goblin. So, Honey, do you want to say hi to all the folks at home?
Hello. I hope to have fun. I haven't done this in a long time, so bear with me, but hopefully I can help make this a fun session, and I'm really excited.
Hell yeah. And while we're doing the intro and stuff, if you want to make sure you just, all of you goblins, make sure that you have your character sheets up and familiarize yourselves with the locations of the skills that you would like to be using and clicking on. That would be very muy apreciado. And otherwise, moving onwards, I just want to let you all know in chat, I believe it's up right now with the updated command. Yes. Good. So we were realizing that the exclamation mark goblins command was getting a little big for the chat box, and wait, what did you have to apologize for? I don't.
The tiny URL also doesn't work, by the way.
You should consider getting involved in the making of piercings or sex toys and working at the Pixie Brothel. That way you can sell Goblissi and Goblissi adjacent accessories. Two XP.
My
But we didn't even have to do anything that time. Let's fucking go.
Just like the Goblinz blurb.
There you go.
So what we're hearing is we need fan art of your new shop, Silver?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. If you guys out there want to do fan art, that is more than welcome, and you're more than welcome to share the art that you make for this project in the Discord for Effie's Discord, or you can send it to me in a private DM on Discord, and I'll make sure it gets spread around the right locations. Please don't build on that sentence. And yeah, there. Otherwise, there is a command there that we do, the exclamation mark goblins. Let me just take my eyebrows off for the 5 seconds. I'll not wear them. But yeah, if you guys look at those links, we're just updating it so that there's going to be a master list that is provided. We need to edit that command so that master list is spaced better. So apologies everybody there, but essentially what we're going to be doing is we're going to be keeping a master document of everyone who has ever participated in the list as recommendations, and then the command will give you the links to everyone who is currently contributing to the session. So our artist contributions stay on there permanently, and so do all the players who are in the session at the moment, and then everything else goes into the master list so that we can actually properly give credit to everybody. So once I can edit that so that the list is or that things are a little unfuculated, then we can go ahead and have that fully fixed. I realized that was a typo there, so maybe I'll do that, or maybe a mod who has access to it. I don't know. Anyways, for the time being, though, however, we are here and we are ready to do goblin bullshit, and I look forward to seeing what kind of things come. Just a reminder, the way the Goblin Bullshit Pool works is I've emphasized this at the beginning, but any goblin can use the Goblin Bullshit Pool in this campaign. So that technically can apply to goblins that are not players, but for the most part, goblins can use the like any guest goblin we end up with also has full like carte blanche to take from the Goblin Bullshit Pool for any stupid reason they want. So like when we have guests, if they want to troll and be like, I'm gonna re-roll this, and even if it's not optimal, you can just grab from the Goblin Bullshit Pool. And if you guys want to know what the Bullshit Pool is, essentially what happens is when you make a roll and you'd like to re-roll it, you can say Goblin Bullshit Go. Then I reduce from the pool, which is currently at 31 points, thanks to you generous contributors out there. And then we roll on the random table. So, for instance, if somebody rolled it and I'd hit that button, so it would be the goblin who called for bullshit has a dangerous peanut allergy for an hour. So it's a D100 table of random goofy effects, some of them completely benign and others absolutely disruptive. So it creates a fun, chaotic element that enhances the experience. So any goblin is more than welcome to take from that pool and use them to whatever their purpose is. And you can also use 4 points from the pool to bring yourself back from the brink of death during death rolls as well. So if you happen to drop to 0 HP and need to make rolls for your death, you can stabilize yourself at the cost of 4 points from the pool. And the roll will still happen on the pool as well. So you might stabilize yourself and then get hit with 1 point of damage from something, which is hilarious, as has happened already. So, you know, something to keep in mind. But the way that works is anytime we get $10 worth of contributions that end up in Effie's pocket overall, so like if you gift subs, then it has to be $10 of those subs that go to Effie. So like most subs are split 50-50, so it only count for $2.50 with a donation or with a contribution of a subscription. And some minor conversion that I'm not entirely familiar with bits. But all you got to do is just make contributions of bits, subscriptions, or donations directly, and the pool will go up. And trust me, you think 31 is a lot of points, but these goblins really like their goblin bullshit, so I am going to assure you that not only will it need refilling, but also any contributions you guys make during this broadcast are very, 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 very important to us and help us gain a metric of further success and budgeting that we can increase the project by. So all of you who are chilling with us here today to support this project, thank you so much for being here. We love and appreciate you and hope you enjoy the goblin shenanigans at hand. Effie, did you have anything else you would like to say before we get into the adventure?
You know, I don't really, although I do have one word of warning.
Mhm.
When you're cutting any sort of peppers, make sure to wear gloves or wash your hands before you go to the bathroom. Bye. Anyway, take it over, Silver.
Ah, yes. Nobody likes fuego, pussy. Anyways, with my own cursed contribution to everything here, one little reminder to everybody tonight. Oh, Omega, thank you very much for contributing a point to the pool. We very much so appreciate that. So let me go ahead and increase it to 32. And we added +1 at the start of the session, because at the beginning of every session we do, the Goblin Bullshit Pool automatically goes up by 1. But thank you very much, Omega Mystique. We very much so appreciate that contribution. Love you. Thank you. And before we get started, I just want to let you guys know in chat, at the latter half of the adventure, probably after the break, maybe a little bit before it, the goblins are going to be engaging in what is essentially improv night at Cracktooth's Tavern. And generally when one attends an improv night, categories are provided by the audience. So, I want you guys to think of what in-world category, so like anachronisms that refer to the modern world outside of the goblin stuff, I will ignore. But if you can think of something that sits well in a fantasy setting or is general enough to like recommend as a category, basically all you have to do is think about what you want to recommend when we call for the suggestions, and I will pick the best one from the pool of suggestions, or we can put it to a vote. It depends on how it pans out. And yeah, I'm gonna automatically ignore submissions of Goblinz for the fucking category, because I think Cracktooth would nullify that as being a little too much in favor of the goblins for the evening versus anybody else who would be performing. So, that's kind of like handing over an auto win, really. So, to that effect, just a reminder to all of you, think about the category you'd like to suggest for the performance, and the goblins can do whatever they want to best suit the category they're given in any kind of performance. It's just they have to perform with the theme in mind. So if they don't include the theme, they might still get votes, but, at the end of the day, I might also be asking the chat to put a vote on who they think would be the night's winners for performances as well. So keep that in mind as a reason why you might want to stick around. But for the time being, I think we've already gabbed enough, and there's a lot to do, so without further ado, why don't I go ahead and start establishing the scene, and we can get back into the event at hand. Okay. Well, just got an annoying message, but anyways, I'm going to ignore that because it's time to go forwards. Anyway, doodly-doo, let's go ahead and hit that button, and get us back into Sandpoint. So, hey goblins, are you guys ready for an adventure?
Yeah. We're ready for adventure. Yeah.
Good. Because adventure's coming. All right.
It's arriving.
Is it bringing stew?
I hope it's still.
I think he got grabbed by bandits.
Yeah, that's pretty bad then.
Yeah. There might be a very good chance that one of the things you could do in this town is save stew for the bandits, but for now, tonight is a different importance because we're going to go ahead and hide the Imagination Goes Here screen. Oh, right. Yeah, never mind. Sorry. Derp. I hit the wrong button. Anyways, him. Hello, players and viewers. We return once more to the town of Sandpoint, a rather cozy little settlement off the coast of the Parisian coast in the Pathfinder world of... It's quick, somebody remind me what it's called again. Galarian. There we go. I pronounced it correctly. Shut up. This is what happens when you run multiple things in multiple places. Yes, so the Galarian. Yes, my bad, everybody. I swear I'm a professional. Anyways, no, Dax. No, that's my other planet. I don't own Galarian. I own Dorota. That sounds a little egotistical. I birthed Dorota. It's its own thing. Anyways, let's not question what it comes into the mental gymnastics to facilitate a metal bird giving birth to a planet. Let's just go ahead and continue with today's adventure. So, Desi, Snooty, and Newt, the three of you had entered the Cracktooth's bar together last session, essentially at the whim and behest of your new friend, new brother, Vachetti, the jailer of the town garrison. And he, in no uncertain terms, basically told you that, he was very appreciative of and considers you family now, after you contributed all the money he had needed remaining to buy his sons out of slavery. Which, being a very expensive effort, was something he never really truly thought he'd be able to achieve. So you've definitely changed the man's life for the better. And in the process of coming to Cracktooth's Tavern, the three of you learned that tonight there will be a performance that essentially comes to pass every week in the tavern itself, where a lot of folks who, when the theater is closed in Sandpoint, so tonight is a night when the theater is closed, a lot of folks attend Cracktooth's Tavern to watch sort of improvisational performances, and a lot of different aspiring performers and actors show up and do their best to kind of make themselves known. And don't worry about the fire. But essentially, what it boils down to is this evening, you guys have the opportunity, as either a group or individual acts, it really depends on, what you would prefer to do. You have the opportunity to perform to not only earn a fair number of gold's worth of credit at the establishment, but also, if you are the winning group, Cracktooth has offered to endorse the signature required to approve basically the town's opinion of if goblins should be allowed to live in the city or in the town or not. Sandpoint has a very complex history with a lot of the outlying goblin tribes, and they do not trust them. And a lot of residents of Sandpoint are either just not very opinionated about positions on goblins or actively hate them because of reasons that have come to pass in the town in the past. So, to that effect, now that Vachetti has returned to his post at the jail, and the three of you find yourselves in the tavern still with a bit of time to spare, there's probably, I would say, a good maybe 5-6 hours before the actual event begins in Cracktoose Tavern for the performance. So, my question to you, Desi, Snooty, and Newt, is what do you guys want to do with the time you have at the start of the day before the event comes to pass? There are a couple of things you had mentioned about, like, getting some gear and some stuff sorted for your new pet. That sounds... I'm still working over that in my mouth right now. That also sounds wrong.
Wait,
Anyways...
Oof.
Shush.
Did you forget about our ghoul?
No, I didn't. It's kind of hard for me to forget about Ghoulie
The
and
fact
what you
that
guys did.
He's our pet, and the only thing that would probably look good in him is leather.
Everybody gets 2 XP.
Yay! This is my first time having you do this for me. Let's go.
Yes. Yes, please revel in my suffering. Anyways, yes, so that you've got the pets to consider. You guys have energy enough to continue through the day, but might want to facilitate a nap or something, just so that you're not super exhausted when it comes to the evening's performance, because you did spend a good majority of the night last night fighting ghouls at the cathedral's graveyard. It's a boneyard, that's what they call it. So, all kinds of things to consider, plus there were elements of, like, other things that you guys were wanting to pursue. But I'll let you think about that, and now, the three of you, why don't you go ahead and roleplay how you guys want to approach the next stage of how you're going to spend the remaining hours of your afternoon.
Can we get a saddle for Ghoulie?
Yeah, Ghoulie needs clothes. I need to write song, but don't know what do, 'cause only know goblin topic.
Oh, okay. I have idea. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, what if we go to tavern early, and other tavern, the rusty trombone.
Oh, we talk to pretty lady that's there, the one that is like me, and see if she has done this too. Yes, good plan. Where is place for buying stuff?
Yeah,
No,
because money can
do
be
you know-
exchanged for goods and services.
Newt's gonna like look around and just look around to see if there's anything that says any. Well, she can't read, so she's just gonna look around and look for anything that looks like a store.
You're gonna hold up. You're gonna look on the ground.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I don't even know how to begin to. You guys are currently outside Cracktoose Tavern. I will say in. Oops.
I know what to do. Hold on.
Newt's gonna sit there and start praying and be like, "Bring me store," and then open her eyes.
No. Somebody roll me an exclamation mark D20 in chat, please. So just anybody in chat, exclamation mark D20, all one word, all lowercase.
Don't worry, I find star.
Alright, let me look at the fucking map. What would make the most relevant contribution here? So you guys are currently on... You're on Bent Street. And, there is... a... How would this pan out exactly? Let me just look at the entry for this to see if it actually lines up or not. Okay, yeah. So you're looking down Bent Street, and you kind of like you put your head to the ground and you pray, looking for a store, and you raise your head, and staring down an alleyway across the way, you can see a decently looking stone building, and on the front of it, there's a sign that you can't read, but
Yeah.
staring at it, the one across the way, over this way from you, through Rat Alley, is a very resplendent looking kind of like shop. And you get the impression that like that's something that you might want to draw your attention to, because as you're praying and you look up, the sign on the front of the store just kind of gets caught in a gust of wind, and there's a passing cart, and it just comes detached by one of its hooks and smashes into the side of the cart. And the guy who's directing the cart is just like, What? What in the fuck? Oh, God, you gotta be kidding me. So as he's doing that, the noise and startling experience just causes you to look out in the direction and be like, hey, that looks like a
found it.
store.
Found it. She'll start excitedly pointing and jumping up and down, being store, 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 store.
Oh, yeah. That place. We go find this stuff.
Okay.
We got.
I'm gonna.
Uh,
I'll run up to the guy and start jumping up and down, being like, store, 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 like in his face.
The dude is just like, actually, can I get a roll from chat? Another one, please, to see his disposition towards goblins before I decide his reaction. So somebody in chat, just exclamation mark D20, and then I'll give me a moment to... Okay, cool. So he doesn't immediately go, fucking goblins! But instead, the guy who's, like, operating his cart, he just stops and sees you jumping, and then he also notices that you're, like, hovering in the air. And before I give his full reaction, Snooty and Desi, do you two follow him at all?
Yeah. We go follow Cabbage Man.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he's looking at the damage to his cart and admiring, or not admiring, but like taking in the damage from the sign that is smashed into his vehicle. And then as he kind of like stops to adjust to Newt, he's like a little startled, and then notices that she's floating as she's jumping up and down and being excited about the store's presence, and also notices Desi and Snooty running up, and he just goes, hi, can I help you three with anything?
Store?
He looks around
Right.
and then just acknowledges the one like he's right in front of, and he goes, yes, this is the House of Blue Stones. If you wanna, that's a store. If you wanna go in there.
What sell? What did it sell?
Well, truth be told, I'm not very familiar with what Jabberl is the proprietor. She's got some interest in a couple of different objects and whatnot. She's got a lot of magical inclinations and historical. You know what? Why don't you go inside and ask? Because
How bad is his cart damaged?
Not actually to any like huge degree. There's a crack in the wood that is like
Can
body damage.
Newt attempt to mend it?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a roll, chat, because every time Newt does something magic, we need a roll related to it. So exclamation mark D20, chat. And is there a particular method you wanted to approach this mending?
Is it made of wood?
Yes.
Yeah, just like have the wood grow
All right.
and patch the damage.
Well, that's a 4. So as you mend the side of this guy's cart, it turns into
no, wait.
Oh, go ahead.
Have him watch it go.
Oh.
All right. All right. Okay. So we'll re-roll it. There we go. We got a 12. Now I need you to make either an athletics or acrobatics test, Newt, to see how well you do a backflip.
All right. Acrobatics, all right.
Oh, not bad. Well, this is just a hell of an encounter. The guy looking at his cart just kind of looks at the side of it, and you reach out and you mend the wood on the side of the cart and leave kind of like a small growth of trees or of branch growth and moss, as it looks like a natural small kind of overlay of nature has kind of sprouted from elements of the cart. And it seems very much so like repaired to you. Like all the damage is undone, and it looks way nicer now according to your sense of aesthetic. And as you see that, you're like, yay! And then you just do a backflip, which to everyone else looks like you backflipping in the air and landing on 1 foot above the ground. So there's a brief moment where the guy is just watching you do this, and then he looks at his cart and looks at you, and he thinks about the next thing he's going to say, and he just turns to look at Snooty and he goes, What the fuck?
Huh?
What? I fixed your cart.
He's just gesturing to Newt and everything that she just did, and he has no
Oh.
idea, so it's like getting your
Oh.
opinion on things, Snooty.
Oh. This is Newt. They
This is
do,
Newty.
and that is Newty, and I am Snooty, and this is Desi, and Newt just fix cart.
Yeah. Cart good now. Good
Mhm.
cart.
He just
We
kind
try
of,
do good deeds.
Yeah. Good
He-
deeds.
he nods his head and says, "Well, thanks
On
for
dirt
that." Must resist urge to eyebrows. He just kind of nods his head and goes, you know what? Thank you, like bowing to you, Newt, and says, your help is most appreciated. I don't know what caused this sign to come detached in the first place. It seemed anchored quite well, but things degrade, and I suppose it just was bad luck. Anyways, you three seem very busy and in search of something, and he just gestures to the House of Bluestone and says, this is a big, important building of many selling things, so why don't you go in there and have a good day, hmm?
Newt will mimic the bow he did and do it back.
What about you, Snooty?
She squints for a moment and then gives big toothy grin and goes,
We just look for close for dog.
and she kind of shivers at her saying that she has a dog.
What about...
That's good.
Does it? Go ahead. Yes,
Sorry,
Desi?
somebody played the Goblinz adjacent.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
okay, alright.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, we're just looking for clothes for the dog. That is perfectly normal, but thank you, sir.
And then she's gonna do a curtsy.
Alright. So even though you don't have anything to really curtsy with, you do perform a curtsy as you've seen performed before, and as you're kind of coming to pass of this interaction, the gentleman who's kind of escorting or who's interacting there just kind of takes a moment, as there's dogs barking somewhere in the town. He just kind of takes a bit to gather himself up and just starts the cart moving forward. And he says, well, I'm glad you could be of help to me, and I'm glad I could be of help to you. Enjoy your shopping experience. I don't know much about keeping pets. Anyways, I have a schedule to keep. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, cart.
Just walks right into the store. Just,
Yeah.
All right, so as you enter into the store, I suppose I should probably find some workable ambience for this. But it seems to be... I mean, the vibe you get from it is sort of like a mix of books and scrolls and reliquary kind of stuff, and just like odds and ends that have a magical nature to them. And I'm just double checking here that I have this information right before I give it to you so that I don't give you the wrong thing to work off of. But as far as I am aware, as I slowly burn to death in my office because I didn't turn on the fan, it's more or less kind of a bit of a library vibe in here. It's just there's a limited selection on the front. However, this is kind of like this building feels like a mix between a temple and a sort of mage's merchant kind of like interaction space. So let me go ahead and change the ambience a little bit here. You know what? Actually, this is actually a perfect time to facilitate something else entirely that would work really well. So let's go ahead and mute this for now. Boopity boo, and we're going to go ahead and switch over to this. All right. So, as you enter into the building, you make out a couple of interesting little details. One is there's a collection of books and magical kind of like trinkets and tokens. The place is very open and has like an interesting kind of glassy temple-like flooring that is very pretty to look at. The interior of this stone structure is one that kind of creates an air of reverence to it. And normally it would be very peaceful in here. However, you can see that there is a relatively tall, dark-skinned woman wearing a monk's robe, who is currently in a bit of a heated conversation with another individual. And, honey, at this point, can you go ahead and describe the appearance of your goblin to us for everybody?
If you look in the center of the screen, down on the bottom, I'm just got red skin, blonde hair with like a pink streak. I am wearing a dumb little eye patch. I'm wearing a gigantic fucking hat with lots of bones. My hat is wearing an eye patch. And then on the inside of the hat, it might be a little bit hard to see, but there is a floating skull inside. As for my gowns, I am wearing like a somewhat short, like very, very thin material, sort of like a bit of a beige or like a gray, like a white. It's not too intense. And then I have a purple cloak going around that. The purple cloak goes down to around my, probably around my ankles. Once again, it doesn't really look like a very thick material. It's more thin. And then I'm wearing a choker as well with a little pink gem on it.
All right. So as the three of you walk in, you can see this goblin in front of you who is now in kind of like a bit of an you can't tell if it's an argument or like genuine kind of concerned behavior, but the woman standing in front of you, I guess I'll say Honey for now until we reveal the name of your character in game. Okay. But the woman standing in front of you, Honey, is continuing a conversation that you were having a little bit earlier when you came into this place, and she's basically like, please stop trying to pick up the book. You are obviously having some issues here, please. And as you look down, Honey, or your goblin looks down to the rather heavy tome that you were trying to peruse as you came into this space, can you go ahead and give me your strength roll for me, please, to see how well you facilitate continuing to try to put it in your hands?
I know how to do this. I promise. Do you have to do an exclamation point roll or just?
Nope. So you click on your character sheet in Foundry, and you go to the proficiencies tab, which is like a little hand.
Okay.
And then technically you'd give me an athletics roll.
Athletics.
Yes. So you just click it.
There we go.
Yeah, and then it has a roller, and then you'll just give me a normal roll on that front.
Okay.
Yeah, that tracks. So as you reach down to pick it up, there's like an unpleasant straining noise that comes out of your goblin. Can you go ahead and just imitate that for me?
I just did.
And she still looks a little... The woman who's in front of you is very, like, looking consternated and just being like, please Please, you're going to hurt yourself. It's very obvious you can't carry this thing. How do you want to reply?
I'm fine! Watch! I can do anything!
So... this red...
I'm sorry.
Are you quite alright, Effie?
Yeah, Yep.
So, as the three of you enter into this space to see this woman kind of, like, doting over this poor, like, red goblin who seems to be... Most of you would kind of struggle picking up a book like this a little bit, but, like, overall it wouldn't be a problem to you in most circumstances. But, like, she is, like... She's going whole hog with, like, trying to put her efforts into picking it up and just can't seem to get, like, any weight to it. And this lady just, like, looks like she's so concerned that this little red-skinned goblin with this mighty hat and an ostentatious purple outfit is, like, going to hurt herself. So, how would the three of you like to respond to this, like, interaction?
Newt's gonna float over to her. And then, like, get right up behind her and be like,
Do you need help?
Wait, am I supposed to...
Yes, this is you. This is your prompt, honey.
Of course I don't need it. Of course I don't need help. I have this all on my own. I can handle myself. Do you know who I am?
No.
I'm Newt, and this is Newty.
I am the
Newt...
great... Oh, sorry, you can go.
Oh, I was just about to say, Newt holds up, like, a relatively larger sized newt, like, as if she's holding kind of, like, a little, kind of like, you know how kids carry cats around, under, like, the arms? She just kind of holds up this newt in front of you, so how do you want to react there, Dixie?
I am the great and powerful Dixie. I have no need for any of your trifling. I will carry this book with no help but my own immense strength.
Okay, great and powerful, Dixie.
Uh,
But if you
yeah,
need help,
Snooty, how do you want to react to this interaction?
You talk like the peoples do. Why?
Of course I do. I am one of
Why?
immense and great intelligence.
you have a big Brian.
Oh, Big Brian.
It is
She
rare
starts
to run
pushing-
into another intellectual.
She starts pushing Desi forward.
yeah.
Desi
Newt will
has
also
the
help.
biggest Brian.
Hi, yeah, hello, hi. I am looking forward to talking with somebody of higher intelligence. How are you doing?
Don't play me for a fool. I know high intelligence when I see it.
What's it look like?
Yeah,
Great
what does it?
And
What does
Power
it look
Mammuffle Dix. It is great to meet you.
Understandable. It is very nice to meet you, Red Dix.
Dix is not
No,
my name.
it's a red powerful Dix.
Red Almighty Powerful Dix. Glad to meet your acquaintance.
I am the great and powerful Dixie, and I deserve far more respect.
Dix.
I respect you.
Yeah, we respect you, Dix.
Newt
Don't worry
Newt will
about it.
jump in and give Dixie a huge hug.
Dixie, I don't think would be prepared for such a situation and would just try fighting her off.
Alright, so we're gonna make a grapple test then, which is great. Because to resist this grapple test, you can either choose to make it an athletics roll or an acrobatics. is
We'll
your
go ahead with,
choice.
we'll go ahead and do a.
What do I roll?
I mean, whatever you want at this point, but yeah, go ahead and athletics or acrobatics, whichever you prefer, Newt. All right, well, a 6 versus a -4 with a nat 1. Newt, you stumble forward to hug Dixie, and Dixie is a little bit, like, put off by this, so she goes tumbling backwards, but you hold onto her. She trips over the book behind her, and she kind of goes flying backwards, but because you're a foot off the ground, you kind of, like, hoist her up. And now she's just hovering a little bit, her feet dangling off the floor, as your hug has basically, like, compressed her face into your chest entirely.
Newt will be like, there, you got it. You are a strong, powerful gobble. You don't need any other gobble.
I think Dixie will start like fuming and throwing her arms and legs around angrily, but ultimately in futility, and just scream, "I am the great and powerful Dixie! You can't treat me like this! Get off of me, you brute!"
Newt will immediately drop Dixie and be like, what? Brute! I was giving you encouragement and hugs.
If that is what you call encouragement, I would like to see no more of it.
Jesse, do you have anything to add to this situation?
Newt's just gonna start crying.
Oh.
I am going to sit here in amazement at all the dicks flailing and
All right.
Daisy, am I a brute?
I don't know what a brute is, but this dick is being mean.
No, they're just
Points to
they're
Dixie.
they're just being themselves. They're just being a dick.
yeah, that's something like that. Look, see, listen here, Dick. You hurt, my friend, and there should be an apology.
Dixie seems to look more concerned for a moment about hurting Newt's feelings until the group starts becoming more upset about the outcome, and then she grows more defensive. I don't care that I hurt your friend. Your friend was getting in my way, and as a being of higher intelligence, I deserve more respect.
I think Desi has a bigger Brian.
Snooty, the fact that you know that and have explained it means that your Brian is bigger than theirs. You are turning into Big Brian, as the humans call it. You are approaching the state known as based.
Fucking. Everybody gets 2 experience points.
Just make a base reference. I know.
But so I'm a big brute.
No, Nitty.
I
You're
don't
not
even
a
know
brute.
what that word means.
Oh, a brute means that you are a person that is real big and strong and hurts other people, mostly by indifference or malicious intent. In other words, it's sort of like if Wiggums was stacked.
Yes.
Oh.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Newt's starting to believe that she might be a brute.
Can I get a roll from chat, please? So just somebody in chat, !D20, real quick for me. Anybody who would like to give us one here to work with. Oh, perfect. Would you like to call Goblin bullshit, or should I tell you what comes to pass?
No, just do it.
Alright. As you guys are watching, Newt begins to kind of slowly hulk out. Like, she her teeth are extending and her body is growing a little bit and warping in size, and like her features are becoming a little less soft and more harsh, and she's like starting to enlarge. And in reaction to this, the woman who is like running this place is just like, oh, she immediately runs behind her desk, like in the shop, and just starts looking for something of use. So how do you guys want to react to this development?
Newt's crying
Yeah.
while this is happening and just being like, I'm hungry.
No, Newt.
No,
You
no.
is pretty. You are pretty. No brute. So pretty. Pat.
Yeah. Yes. When I wake up and look at you, Newt, I go, wow, that is the prettiest, kindest Newt that I have ever seen.
Right?
Really? Really?
You have to say nice
yeah.
things. You have to say nice things.
Points to Dixie.
Say nice things.
Newt will look at Dixie while, like, still, like, tears streaming down her face.
Say nice thing. Or you will be sleeping with the fishies.
I think for a moment she would like feel bad about the situation, but overall I think she'd be more overwhelmed and then just not want to engage in the way she's being asked to. I think she would probably I'm not going to just listen to whatever that you tell me to do. You didn't I'm sorry.
Go ahead. It's all good. You're doing great.
And just like you didn't listen to when I told you not to get on me, so I don't care how you feel. And then
I let you go and you got hinky. I'm a brute. Newt's gonna go storming out of the shop while crying.
Daisy, go after Newt. I go wait,
She goes into her pocket.
I has enoughs myself.
Oh, I see. Okay. I go find Newt. Newt, come back. And then Desiree's gonna run after Newt.
I'll apologize if you guys prove yourselves worth apologizing to. See me at the talent show later tonight. If you can beat me, then I'll apologize to you.
Snooty
She'll say.
looks her up and down and she goes,
You don't even know who Snooty is. Snooty is chief's wife of Suckfrog tribe. Treat my friends with disrespect when we just can't pronounce name well.
Of course I don't know who you are. Everyone knows who I am. That's why I deserve respect. And I don't... Nobody cares what a... I don't want to be too mean.
You can be mean. It's fine. You're okay. Be mean.
Yeah. Be mean. Come on, honey. It's gotta be easy for you, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Come on, hit me with something.
Nobody cares what a nobody like you thinks, alright? They only care what I think, because I am the great and powerful Dixie.
Oh. Ow. Lady behind desk, do you know who this goblin is before she came storming in?
So
Are you gonna roll on that?
this is I'm gonna change the ambience so that we can we were having some fun there with the goofy goblins vibe. Now I am going to do ambience of a magic shop for now. So, as this kind of comes to pass, and you have this interaction, Snooty, you turn to the lady behind the desk, and she stops as she, like, comes out with, like, a handful of magic scrolls in her arms, and just looks, like, around for, okay, well, that's a weird ambience. Maybe I need to do something different, but for now, she takes a moment to kind of assess the what's going on here, and as she's like, okay, this isn't gonna work. We need like something else. All right, everybody, bear with me. This is an incredibly like noise heavy ambience that I picked, and I fucked up real bad. So we'll just sit with it. Yeah, she comes up with this handful of scrolls and just looks at you both and goes, "Well, this one, the little red one, Dixie, came into my shop today asking about important, powerful, magical items, and it was basically just telling me how all these books are. She's better than them, and I, I mean, it's honestly been a very interesting interaction. And then you three showed up, and then everything started to happen. But as far as my understanding is, my encounter with Dixie too is just that of today.
I
And
think
you've never known knitted?
Not not before today, no.
Dixie looks really proud of herself when the shopkeeper was recounting their interactions, but then grows to be more upset as the shopkeeper explains that she hadn't known who Dixie was. Well, maybe you don't know who I am now, but you will after tonight. I'm known all around, and it'll be just the same in this town as it was the last.
What town were you at before?
The last town that I was at. I don't care for their names. They're not that important to me.
Okay, you say you at the talent show tonight?
Of course. Where else would I be?
Parav? Then I see you there. Newt and Desi and myself are performing too.
Dixie, how do you want to respond?
I'm thinking.
No worries.
I'll be sure to save you a seat in the losers table.
Oh, you'll be sitting there too then?
Of course not. No, it's the losers table because that's where you sit. I'm saving the spot by not being there.
But you...
And
She
she's
seems
like, you see
upset.
her kind of using her hands to kind of like she's trying to follow along what was just said, but she is so fucking lost. And she's just like,
Okay, thumbs up.
Dixie will turn back to the shopkeeper for a moment.
Yeah.
I came in here for my magical items, and if this is how your shop is run, then clearly you don't deserve my business. And then she'll leave. She'll storm out.
So, Snoopy, you're just standing there like, what the fuck was that interaction? And Dixie, as you step outside of the place, Newt, you're still kind of panicking out on the street. Desi, what do you want to do about like Newt's like breakdown?
Nitty, it's okay. Come here. Look, give a hug.
But oh, okay.
Yeah. See, yeah. All right. Do you think brutes can give hugs? No, they cannot, for they lack all empathy and affections. They are truly wretched creatures, much like Reddit users and DMs.
Stop
You are
farming
not
for points.
Points.
Newt,
You are not
since
a brute.
since Desi told Newt that brutes can't give hugs, and Desi's the smartest person that Newt knows, Newt's gonna start to believe it, and be like,
Oh, okay. Thank you, Desi. I know I can count on your big Brian, and I think the other person doesn't have a big Brian, because if you have a big Brian and you're so nice, how can they be so mean?
Yeah, look. They Thank you for noticing. One of us has to do the counting after all. Also, yeah, no, I don't think they are very smart at all. I think their Brian is very tiny. But that's probably because all they have in their brain is mean and no thoughts. Perfectly smooth brain. Empty.
Then why don't they like Newt? Newt have perfectly smooth brain.
Ah, Newt, your perfectly smooth brain is like mirror reflecting the beauty of the world. Other person, Dex, has brain lumpy like raisin and only shows old people.
As you're having that interaction, Dixie emerges from the shop and hears you saying that behind you. Dixie, do you want to respond at all to this, or are you just done with these goblins and have preparations to make for the night?
I think at the moment I'm going to scoff at them and deliberately walk past them, bumping them as I walk past intentionally, like an asshole.
All right. As she
Wait,
as she
should I roll an
passes by,
athletics check to see if they even feel it?
you should roll an athletics check.
I just thought about that.
Yeah. All right. You feel a very gentle, almost breeze-like movement of the body as Dixie tries to like push her way past the two of you, and just kind of has an awkward like turn sideways and move between the two of you moment, Desi and Newt, as she just can't seem to really like use her shoulders to generate enough force to kind of dislocate you, but she's trying real hard to keep that like attitude as she just kind of squishes between the two of you. How would you like to respond, Desi and Newt?
I am going to sneak a smoke bomb in the back of her pants.
Excuse me? What perception check do I have to roll here? Actually, it'd probably just be perception, wouldn't it?
So, Desi, you're going to roll me a thievery, I believe.
Ooh,
and
okay.
Dixie, you're going to roll perception, which is under your AC. It's like a separate section of your character sheet.
Oh, it's a separate section. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
What separate section? Oh God! What separate section? Where? Huh?
So if
I
you're looking
found
at
it. Okay.
yeah, the little dice next to underneath where it says perception, you just hit that little die.
Okay.
And then just give me a normal roll. All right, perfect. Do you want to attempt goblin bullshit, or are you just going to sit with it?
I want goblin bullshit.
Hey, there we go.
Oh God.
And I
Alright.
hope it's the magnetic one.
Me too.
So I just re-roll and then I just get given random
Sit.
garbage.
Yeah. So you re-roll.
Oh!
What?
Yes!
It's not fair.
Alright, what's the bullshit I have to deal with? What is
Okay, so
suddenly
Oh my God.
oh my god. All right, so Desi, you start to pocket a. All right, you know what? We need a different bit of music for this real quick here for the culmination of these experiences. So Desi, you reach behind Dixie and you take a smoke bomb and you ready it so that it'll go off in a moment, and you basically like start pocketing it in her goods. But you like Dixie, you snap around almost like a martial artist and grab it out of her, grab her wrist, and you guys engage in like what is essentially like a maybe like minute-long kung fu like swapping of who's holding on to the smoke bomb while like arguing at each other. So can you tell me what you say, Dixie, as you grab her, catch her doing that?
I'm just gonna start simple. What the fuck are you doing?
Desi, your reply?
I just wanted you to actually be blowing smoke out of your ass other than just being pretend smoke.
Dixie, your
What are you,
reply.
some kind of incompetent nincompoop?
She said poop.
Desi, your reply.
You know, that is easy for somebody to say that can't lift a book. I lifted the book to make this. What do you have? A dumb hat?
My hat is very smart, and he has a name, you know.
Yeah? Is it Sit on Dicks?
Shut the fuck up. I think to myself for a proper comeback, but
You're thinking.
unfortunately, I'm too infuriated to properly come up with anything.
So as you're exchanging the smoke bombs and you're sitting there thinking about a good comeback, Dixie, one starts to formulate in your mind and you're about to say it before you realize that the two of you are now hovering 15 feet in the air.
What?
And for a brief moment, you two look down. And normally, if it was just a normal falling state, I'd say that there wouldn't be this pause. But due to the magical nature of the goblin bullshit, you both have a brief cartoonish moment where you realize you've both levitated into the air. And just before the effect cuts out and you fall, the smoke bomb in your hand goes off. And both of you are covered in this explosion of smoke as both of you plummet 15 feet to the ground. So I'm going to roll.
Before I fall, as we're floating there for a moment, I just want to say, I hate you, and then we can fall.
You hate me, we just met.
You both take 6 points of falling damage as you come crashing to the ground.
Can you try to catch Dizzy?
Yes, you can
Desi?
try to make an athletics roll for me to see if you can catch Desi, please.
Athletics? Okay.
Yes, athletics.
So that'd be 6 damage I need to take?
Yeah, so you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, Dixie. Newt, well, first I should ask, do you want to keep that roll? It's pretty good for your modifier.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
Alright, you manage to... Desi lands in your arms and barrels you over, and you negate the damage, but you go falling to the ground, which also is just you hovering in the air, holding Desi, practically.
Dory, I saved you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I didn't want to fall with Dix.
Yeah, you don't want to fall. You could have landed on dicks.
No, that sounds dangerous. You know, Newt, I think I am with you. I don't think I am the biggest fan of Dix.
Yeah. I don't think I'm a big fan of dicks either.
Dixie, as you're getting up off the, you've got, mud all over your clothes because these are, not greatly well-kept side roads. And you're kind of dusty and muddy, and you're getting up, and you're, sore from the impact from falling. Any last things you want to say as you basically, run off?
Honestly, I don't want to say anything. I just want to, fucking make just a little angry, noise and just leave.
Alright, so you...
Just gone.
Alright, so you make an indignant noise at them and just storm off in frustration, leaving the two of them.
Wait, what was your cat's name?
Stay tuned next episode to find out.
I guess you'll have to ask that question at Cracktooths.
Oh, if your hat is alive, hey, you better go wash your dicks. It's dirty. Bye, loser.
Jesus wept on his throne. Thanks, chat. I'm glad we could entertain.
Jesus wept on his throne.
Alright, so as this interaction is going on, meanwhile in the magic shop, which is more of like a temple than it really is a magic shop, the woman behind the desk just kind of leans forward a bit. She just puts the scrolls down gently and turns to look at you, Snooty, and says, Do you and that goblin know each other?
The red one? No.
I see. And all the others, are they your,
Yeah,
friends?
yeah. Newty, and Desi are my friends.
I see. Well, I suppose thank you for facilitating the departure of that little rat thing. What is it I can do for you here in my shop exactly?
I was told this was a store, and I need to buy things to help.
And she looks both ways, and then she looks up and she goes,
Disguise a dog.
She looks at you a little incredulously for a minute and goes, "Why are you disguising dogs exactly?"
Okay. Hmm.
what does her face look like? Like, is she like a kind of eyes type person, or
Yes, she seems very inviting. Like the woman in front of you is a very dark skin toned lady who is wearing like monk's attire for the most part, but has a small glowing blue ring on her left hand and finger, and she seems the type to always be with her nose buried in a book for the most part.
So, I tell you this because you seem very nice. I have a ghoul. And we turn him into dog, but dog look like he dead. So we want him to look nicer so we can take him out for walks.
She just has like a brief moment of like that I can't find the gif right now, but that like where the guy's just like he blinks and shakes his head kind of reaction for a minute and then goes, sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble processing what you just said. You have a ghoul that you have exactly that one, Ash. You have a ghoul that you have made your pet, and now you turned it into a dog, but it doesn't look alive, so you want to cover it in some kind of disguise.
It is good. Ghoul. We told him that we would kill him if he tried to hurt anybody's.
I see. As far as my understanding of how ghouls operate, that's going to be a tall order. They aren't exactly the most trustworthy creatures, although they do form interesting societies. Do you know how old this ghoul is?
He no say. He also won't tell us where the ghoul is, because we wanted to get extra monies from the church because we were being good goblins.
I see. Oh, so I think I heard something about that. There was a ghoul issue in the boneyard. Did you help them with that?
We went and they were all gone.
She looks down at you a little bemusedly and says, "Well, I guess you know what, that's fine. I'm actually a little bit more curious. I've been very deep in my studies lately, but I've heard a few rumors going around. Are you those goblins in town who have been causing mischief?"
Mischief?
Yeah. They're I don't know. One of my neighbors basically told me that they had seen some goblins that had been purportedly responsible for the fire at the Goblin Squash stables downtown. It wasn't really my biggest. I didn't really care that much, but now that I see a goblin in front of me, I have to ask, why are you in Sandpoint exactly?
Oh, we
I
are
heard the door
trying
slam.
to
Yes,
get
go.
citizenship.
Citizenship. Okay.
The door slam as Newt comes in and go, I wasn't there!
She looks over and notices that Newt... Desi, are you going in with Newt?
Yeah.
Alright, so as the two of them return into the room, she looks at you, like, relieved to see you're no longer doing whatever the fuck was happening to you at the time, Newt. And also turning to look at Snooty and go, you want to move to Sandpoint?
We want to live here and be happy.
Oh. What? Hmm.
Things here don't bite your feet when you try to walk.
Mm-hmm.
She laughs a little bit and she says, "Well, not unless you pay them, anyways."
And you also don't have goblin baby pit.
She looks very concerned at that statement and goes, "I should hope not."
Yeah, people babies are raised differently than goblin babies. We have goblin baby pit.
She looks a little confused at the interaction for a moment and goes, "This is honestly quite fascinating. If I'm being entirely honest, I don't know a lot about goblins." She looks thoughtful for a second, and then she reaches underneath the desk and she pulls out a book, like an empty, kind of like blank book, and like takes out a quill and she says, "What exactly is it that you're doing to earn citizenship in the town exactly?"
Oh, Desi, can I say, Desi, can I,
Yes.
Desi,
And she has her arm up and like all up in your face.
Desi, can I say it?
Desi's gonna reach up and give a high five and then look at the shopkeeper and be like, the esteemed and very fancy Snooty will, say this and explain.
So we are doing good deeds around Sandpoint so we can get endorsed to be able to live here.
I see. Well, I am a collector of knowledge, and while true, it is only something I allow to those who, at most, are the worshippers of Irori. I do keep records and write such things. And it's this endorsement. It can come from any citizen of Sandpoint, yes?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, at first I'm going to have to disappoint you, because I'm afraid I don't have anything here to offer you that will help in the disguising of a dog. My specialty is in knowledge and books and with scrolls and things of magical study nature. There are very interesting things to be learned in the study of recorded knowledge, but it is all part of how I process my worship of my chosen patron. So, I suppose if you would be open to becoming followers of Irori, then you would be able to
Who
access what I have to offer. But
is that?
go on.
Who is that? The person that you are saying we should follow.
Oh, Irori is the god of self-perfection and knowledge. They take many forms. They are not bound to one particular representation or the next, but they only believe in the pursuit of understanding. And I am a follower of their teachings. Irori is driven most by refining the self over and over and over again, and to learn and know all there is to provide, regardless of the context. We are followers of a morally neutral approach to understanding. However, I don't necessarily know if that's something that would be applicable to goblins. As far as I am aware, there is a pre-existing association with Lamashtu. Whether you follow that or not is entirely your business, but I'm afraid the full breadth of what I have to offer here in my home is only available to those who seek to worship under the study of Irori. Also, I will make a DM note. There is a chance you could convince her to access like more of what she knows and has on her with a sufficient diplomacy check, if you give me a reason why you would be able to make that diplomacy check.
What if
What-
we are persuading her that we will give her knowledge on goblins if she lets us have access?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the question is, who wants to Do you want to make that proposal, Snooty, or do you want to leave it in someone else's hands?
That is up to the other goblins.
We
What
think
would you like me to do?
You probably most persuasive.
Okay, I do then. If that's
Okay.
want. But is your diplomacy much better than mine?
Mine is 7.
Oh, +7?
Yeah.
Why the fuck aren't you doing it? Holy shit!
Wait, what is yours?
I'm fucking 2, Desi!
Wait, how do you only have 2 in diplomacy?
Because I'm a bard?
You know, that is a perfectly good explanation and totally explains why I have Big Brian and have put my 7 in diplomacy. Please stand aside, nerd.
Don't fucking virgin nerd giga chad me. What the fuck?
All right.
By the way,
So-
that sound was me spitting out my coffee.
Tell you what, yes, no worries. Snooty, you can make the proposition, and then Desi can build off of it, and depending on how that goes roleplay-wise, I can add or subtract bonuses to the roll from both of you, if you'd like to both make the... And if you feel you have a way to contribute to that roll too, you can totally interject as well, but otherwise, I'll leave it in your hands to decide how you guys want to roleplay that, bringing that up.
I will Giga Chad Brian this.
Oh, Desi.
And she whispers in Desi's ear and goes,
Desi.
Yeah.
She want Brian Nullig, right?
Oh,
she's
she
been
thirsty
writing
with the
down.
Brian knowledge.
And she write down an empty book.
like she's saying all of this in Goblin, by the way.
She write an empty book. She meaning she don't know nothing about goblins. Maybe we get help from her and maybe endorsement from her if we give her knowledge on goblins.
Yeah, that is good plan. Snitty, you are very smart. Yeah, okay. I will suggest a trait for goblin knowledge. But Newt, do you have anything to add to this?
We know about goblins.
Okay.
At least the goblins in the swamp.
Yeah. Okay, so, but maybe you can tell me about all the things that bite feet, and those things if I forget.
New will start shaking her head up and down excitedly because she's like,
Oh, I can help out Desi. I can help Desi's Big Brian.
and starts like
Yes,
jumping up and
okay.
down.
Okay. I will lead. Hello, ma'am. I think I have a proposition for you. You see, it seems like we both are in need of knowledge. We need that knowledge which you are keeping from us, and in exchange, I can grant you many things about goblins, because as my 3 associates can attest to, we are in fact 100% gobbo. Is that not right, Snooty? One out of 1 newts agree. So, as gobbos, we can tell you all the things about gobbos, and I will help you make a lexicon for the goblin language.
Oh, as a bonus, I can translate from Newty to tell you about dire newts.
Yes, Newt here is our newest associate. She has joined us on a tenure and has found a permanent home in our trio of intelligence and knowledges, because she knows many of the things that low and creep, and she also has an associate underling that speaks Newt. So you will get a sample into the enigmatic and mysterious world of Newt, spoken by Newt, narrated by Newt. And not only that, but you will be given a glimpse into the rich folklore history of Gobos from the best bard and wife of Chief Snooty.
That is me.
That's
That's
in
Snooty.
fact Snooty.
I'm Newt.
And that is it. I am Desi. I hope that today, with that knowledge, we can conclude business.
All right, you're gonna give me a diplomacy roll with advantage because of the efforts from everybody else assisting, and I'll let you add a situational +1 due to the benefit of extra knowledge about newts.
So good.
What?
Dire Newts.
Oh, I didn't roll twice. Whoopsie.
Yeah, remember you check off the what is it called? The fucking keep higher on the skill
Yeah.
check. So do the skill check again. I'll delete that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. You want to know what the DC of it was to convince her to actually access any of that shit?
What?
25.
None of
Wow,
us.
it's such a good idea that you were the one that had the diplomacy. So crazy.
Snooty. I am not making fun of you for the lack of. I just assume that you are just amazing in all areas.
It's in performance, Desi. It's in performance.
Anyways, moving onwards. So as this is coming to pass, she takes a look at you all and is like listening to the interactions between you, and it's something in her heart just kind of softens, and she says, "Okay, my name is Jabil Sorn. Welcome to the House of Bluestones. I will allow you access to the lower levels of my building when I am home and able to supervise you. You will not be allowed access when I am not present, as I need to ensure that I can still trust you around such rare and valuable things. But if I am being entirely honest, I am very fascinated by you. Such a group of goblins being so active and responsive and so social. I'm at a loss of words, honestly, for what to think of you. And if I'm I would be lying to myself if I said that I wouldn't be interested in recording your histories and interviewing you about the progress you have going through proving yourselves as noteworthy individuals in the town. So I suppose there's only one last thing I need to ask you before I can arrange this deal. Have any of you killed anyone?
Do you mean in like a murderous way? And by anyone, do you mean a goblin or like a person?
Have the acts that you have done in your life resulted in the loss of life of another creature by an action that you had taken by your own hands?
Does it?
Jaws.
Would it be malicious
But-
behavior, or what if it was self-defense?
Yeah, does that
Yeah,
matter?
the snappy jaw was trying to eat me.
Every
Ah.
instance of violence we visit upon other creatures in our lives, regardless of the context, is still an act of violence nonetheless. And context is what makes it a more understandable encounter. For instance, if you were accosted by wild animals in your life and needed to kill them before they killed you, this is part of the cycle of nature itself. But if your neglectful behavior resulted in the death of something around you, or if your actions contributed to the death of another creature, that might not look favorably upon you. But again, it is really determinant on why and how. But
Do
I'm still
ghouls count?
asking, have you killed something?
Do ghouls count?
That is an interesting philosophical question you propose. They do not technically live, however, they do form societies, and given long enough due to their unnatural life, despite their reprehensible behaviors, they do form intelligence collectives and have great influence on the kingdoms they reign over. It's just most ghouls usually are quite young and dealt with as scavengers before they have the chance to reach that age.
Desi, she
Yeah?
said I raised an intellectual question.
Yes. Yes, she did.
And he's gonna just grin and feel smart.
You are doing very good. I give you 3 head pats. Normally you would only get 1, but you have shown great progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did very good.
And-
Well, ma'am, I have to. Oh, sorry, Newt. What were you going to say?
No, go ahead, Desi.
Yeah, okay. Well, ma'am, that is a hard question to say. In the swamp, it is mostly nature versus nature. I do not have a viewpoint that even humans are above animals when it comes to the cruelty that they can impose on others. But I can honestly state that other than my foods and defense, I don't think I have killed anybody maliciously. There was an old man, but he died of fright seeing us, so I don't know if that one counts.
She looks thoughtful about your response and looks down at you, Snooty, and she says, "What about you? Have you killed any creatures in your life?"
She thinks it. She thinks really hard. And personally, until she had joined the group, she had not killed things. Not really.
And pretty much everything you guys have killed is either like monsters or undead monstrosities.
Except for that one goblin.
Yeah. I mean,
And
Desi
that-
did kind of murder that guy, but at the same time, it was sort of like your fight with him was an element of self-defense.
Mine was self-defense because I needed to silence him. He knew I read.
It's true, Desi, you did make the choice to, once he was fleeing, he was no longer a problem, and instead you just decided to throw bottled lightning at a poor goblin swimming away in the river, which, as we all know, is not very conductive to survivability. But
He knew too much, and as we all know, gobble snitches get electric stitches.
but Snooty, do you have what would you say in reply to her to that question?
She thinks really hard. She thinks of the adventure and she goes,
Everything we do is in self-defense. We do not like to provoke fight. And we try our best to not kill as much as we can. We no kill.
And she looks at you, Newt, and says, "And what about you?" And she regards like your floating state and just kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "What have you killed in your life?"
Just in self-defense, just snappy jaws. Newt doesn't like to hurt people. Even if they're big red dicks and are mean and call you a brute.
There's like a little bit of a pause. And then she nods her head and says, "I think I find that satisfactory. These issues are complicated. As a follower of my devoted patron, I dedicate myself to non-violent resolution. I only use physical violence when it is absolutely necessary, and I have taught myself the ways of how to move others around you so that you are never actively fighting but always diverting. I do this in my speech. I do this when it comes to struggle. It is a way of life that I practice in tandem with the pursuit of knowledge and understanding. Therefore, I'll ask one other thing of the three of you. Anytime you avail yourselves of my meditation chamber or of my library in my company, I invite you to observe lessons on thoughts of how to treat the world around you as if it was water and flow with it instead of aggressively and violently approach it.
That makes it's like I always say, hugs, not bugs. Because if you're dead, the bugs eat you.
She nods her head and says, "Wise words, Newt. But, unfortunately, today I cannot offer you access to my library as I have other things to attend to. I was about to close up shop for the day when your, well, I suppose not friend, but the other goblin that you found in this place had come to me in search of things and was rather abrasive, but seemed a little earnest in her efforts to master a few more things, despite very much so proclaiming, obviously, to the contrary, that she knew everything and didn't need help with anything.
Yeah.
It was a very paradoxical encounter.
And sticks exploded up into the air.
She raises an eyebrow and looks at you, Desi, for more clarification.
Yeah, how best to word this?
You flew into air and tried to take Desi, and I was like, no, and I caught Desi.
Yeah, that's true. I think what happened is the snappy jaws in the sky got hungry for dicks, but I was engaged in fisticuffs with dicks. You could say that I was trying to beat that dicks, but then we got teleported in the air, and the snappy jaws were doing the chomp, but Newt caught me. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
You don't want to stay next to a exploding dicks.
No, very deadly.
It's a sticky situation.
Everybody gets 2 XP. Alright. Well, now that that's kind of come to pass, Jabil just kind of asks you all if there's anything else you need from her in her place, and does anyone else want to do anything in this store, or shall we move on with the narrative?
can
This store
move
is full
on.
of books.
Yeah,
None
there's
of them
the
mean
books.
anything to Newt, unless they have pictures.
Desi is pretty interested, but she's also just jotting it down as a place to come back to. They need clothes, because their leather puppy is too ugly to go outside.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask you never to call it that again, thanks.
I will if you give me 2 XP.
Fine.
I can't believe you give them XP when they just upset you. You're doing it to yourself. Anyways,
I am. I facilitated this. Chat suggested that they get XP every time they make the eyebrows come out. Now I'm fighting for my life. Anyways, let's go ahead and call that done in the House of Blue Stones then. So, I think it's probably fair that we'll do a little bit of yada yada when it comes to the shopping around. What she will have been able to tell you, Jabil would have directed you goblins to the Rovan Key Tannery, somewhere where you would probably be able to get something custom designed, because finding pet leather is hard outside of specialty shops. Anyways, while I deal with what I just said there for a minute, we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break, because we are getting close to the point we usually take them. So, We'll yada yada when we come back a little bit of that encounter, because I'm sure we could make an entire evening session out of just these guys role-playing, trying to buy some fucking pet gear. But we do need to come to the talent show tonight and the further encounters with Dixie. So, to that effect, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick little 15-minute break, and when we come back from our break, we will see what is to come of those interactions. And also, just remember, all of you people in chat, I'm just going to put this up on screen. Remember, when we come back, I want all of you in chat to think about your suggestion for our performance tonight, because there will be a performance at Cracktooth Tavern, and the goblins have to perform around a theme. So when I call for suggestions from the audience for the theme of the performance, I want everybody to jump that into chat. Hold on to it now, but when it's called for the theme, I want everybody to give me those suggestions. And depending on how many people we have hanging around by the end of the session, I may also do an audience vote to see which performance that came across stage was the best one. And that one will receive the credit and the win. But to that effect, for now, let's go at who's chuckling. Oh, somebody fucking played the blurb again. That's Effie. Anyways, so the theme is just one word, so you're just going to present one word, only one word that you think is the best theme for the evening. And I'm automatically vetoing Goblinz, all right? So just don't even do it. I don't care if you band together like it's the fucking French Revolution and decide to override my ruling by spamming it in the chat entirely. You shall not overcome this. Anything but Goblinz. Or Goblinz adjacent statements. Anyways, for the time being, we're gonna take our little break, and we will see you guys in a little bit. So see you all soon. Players, say goodbye for now.
Eat.
Bitch.
Bye.